What's up, guys? I'm Cody Brockway, and you are here for yet another segment of Brockway's Vinyl Bites. That's right. I have a pretty cool idea here, which is something I think that I tend to do. But basically, this is kind of inspired by the opposites of something I had seen on Sea of Tranquility a while ago. And they were kind of doing more about the hard rock and metal side of things, but it was the worst title tracks of the hard rock and metal scene. It's like, well, I would love to do something like this, but the opposite for Prog. And it's something that I haven't really actually seen a lot of done here. So what I'm going to do is we're going to talk about the best title tracks in Prog. That's right, the song that bears the same name as the album. Not the worst ones, but the best ones. And you'd be surprised at how many there isn't. In fact, there's a band like Jethro Tull who probably has the most title tracks. But for the most part, a lot of prog bands don't have title tracks, which is crazy to think about. But there's a few that do, and there's more than 10 that do. But I've pulled out 10 of my personal favorites, and I did not repeat any artists or bands more than once. So, and again, this is not a ranking, this is just really great title tracks, and if you're not familiar with them, you absolutely should check them out. There's some prog rock, and there's some prog metal in here. It's mostly classic prog, but you'll see as the list goes on. We're going to start with Genesis and The Lamb. Of course, the opening track is The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway for the Lamb Lies Down on Broadway album. Great track, really helps to sort of set the mood for this tremendous album. And it's not a long track, it's actually one of Genesis' staple songs. Only about 4.5 minutes, which is something for them at the time, you know. But it's a great track, and it's one of the most notorious, one of the most well-known Genesis tracks, if you will. That wasn't a big radio hit anyway, but actually, you know, back in the day, you would hear this on Q107 for sure. But The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, Genesis, absolutely brilliant. Next up, this is the guy that had a few, and I decided to go with this. That's right, Frank Zappa, Hot Rats. I was this close to going Joe's Garage, but that would have been probably a more obvious pick, so we're going to go to the one that has Mr. Captain Beefheart on vocals. The only track with vocals on it on this album. Hot Mitts, Hot Rats, Hot Cats. And some killer guitar playing from Frank in the middle. Just a really great track. Well, the melody in this, you're going to be singing that in your head for the rest of the day if you put this on. Hot Rats, great album, great title track, excellent stuff. Next up for me is a band that most people would say, well, that's not prog. Well, they certainly dipped their toes into the prog sauce more than once. And as is very evident on this track here, Side 2 of Grateful Dead's Terrapin Station is the title track, the Terrapin Station Suite, otherwise known as Terrapin Station. But yeah, this is just one of the greatest songs of all time. 16-minute epic, got the big cool drum solo rhythmic thing in the middle, shifting time changes all over the place, and the lyrics are great as well. Robert Hunter just writing some really great conceptual lyrics throughout this track. Yes, of course, this is a reissue. I think this is on clear vinyl. I do have an original on the shelf. Oh, no, sorry. It's on green vinyl. The other one I have is on clear vinyl. But yeah, this is one of the greatest Grateful Dead songs. And this is the one that I show to prog heads who, you know, are not familiar with the Grateful Dead. It's like, okay, check this out. And that title track does them in every time. You could just ask Tara from Spin Prog. Yep, great track. Great track. And next up, I mentioned Jethro Tull before. I mean, I could have gone Thick as a Brick. I could have gone A Passion Play. I could have gone Aqualung. I could have gone Minstrel in the Gallery, or even Heavy Horses, because they are one of the prog bands that has a lot of title tracks. But I had to go for this bad boy. Something about this song just does it for me every time. Most of their songs do, to be fair now, but this title track, just like Minstrel in the Gallery, blows my mind. It takes you all around the world in a mere 5 minutes and then brings you back. Takes you flying around the world on a red carpet and brings you right back at the end. Oh, tremendous. Absolutely tremendous. Just the changes in this song and the way it all ties together in such a short amount of time. unbelievable. If you haven't heard this, I would highly recommend you check it out. This is Jethro Tull's title track to Songs from the Wood. Barrymore Barlow on drums, Martin Barre on guitar, and Ian Anderson just being an absolute legend. John Glasscock on bass, David Palmer on piano and synthesizer, things like that. John Evans on also piano and synthesizers. This is just a tremendous piece of music, and the whole album's great. 1977, brilliant title track. We're going to go heavy with this next one. We're going to go to 2001, and this is an album that I do talk a lot about on the channel, and with good reason. Opeth's Blackwater Park. What can I say about this that I haven't already said before? The 13-minute title track that ends the album. Oh my God, just perfect for a night drive on a fall night. Oh, and it's so dynamic too. I mean, it's got the growling vocals, then it has the clean guitar parts, like almost acoustic, like Steve Howe Yes bits, and it goes all over the place. You get super crazy double kick drums, and then, like I was telling you before, the acoustic beautiful bits, the really nasty, heavy, dark, haunting, beautiful, melodic, everything. Just fantastic. Blackwater Park from Opeth. For you longtime viewers of Brockway's Vinyl Bites, you've seen me talk about that song more than once, so I'm going to spare you the details. But it is one of the greatest title tracks ever in prog, and prog metal in that case. And we're going to move forward now to a band that has absolutely changed my life. Their first 5 or 6 records, absolutely brilliant. And this is the second one. Side 1 is the title track to Emerson, Lake and Palmer's Tarkus. Look at this lovely gatefold. If I could open it. Yeah, there we go. Beautiful artwork. And the same on the inside. I wonder who did this album cover. Maybe it was Hypnosis, I'm not sure. You guys could tell me in the comments. But my gosh, the 20-minute epic that takes up all of side 1 of this brilliant album. Side 2 is good. Side 1 is brilliant. The Tarkus side of the album, just wow. Carl Palmer being an absolute drum god. Keith Emerson just being the whiz that he is, and Greg Lake. The three of them just meshing together so beautifully on this. And just, wow, absolutely chaotic. And you know who does a good cover of this is Jordan Rudess, actually. And even has Steven Wilson doing vocals on some of it. It's really cool. But yeah, the title track to Emerson, Lake and Palmer's Tarkus. You can't really beat that, can you? And I'm just realizing now that Greg Lake is making another appearance here with this next one. Going back 2 years before that, so that was 1971. And 1969. Yeah. In the Court of the Crimson King from King Crimson, one of 2 albums that Greg Lake did with them before he split off to do the Emerson, Lake and Palmer thing and take over the world by storm and world prog domination. Did it once, but again with ELP, so twice takeover. This is one of the defining albums of the genre, and so I would be totally remiss to not mention this title track, as it is one of the most iconic tracks of rock history ever. Doesn't matter what subgenre you're looking at, whether it's prog or even metal or anything. In the Court of the Crimson King is right there. And actually this album just recently had a birthday, just turned 56 years old. But you listen to it and it's just a timeless classic. In the Court of the Crimson King, the title track can't really be beat. Or can it with these final 3? Like I said, this is not a ranking, but this is just a really great list of title tracks because, you know, you don't really see a lot of this in the YouTube community. Even in the prog world, people don't really sort of highlight the title tracks in prog too much, so that's something I wanted to do here. And, wow, ooh, the last 3. We're going to start the last 3 with Rush 2112. 1976, the album that could have broken the band, but they were like, well, at least if we go out, we're going to go out swinging. One of the all-time great albums, and they would just continue being great forever after this. And there's some big news about Rush, of course, with them coming back with a girl drummer, Annika Niles. I haven't really heard of her, but I knew that she was part of the Jeff Beck thing. I've seen some clips online. She seems to be a very good fit, and of course, if she's good for Jeff Beck and she's good for Ged and Alex, then she's good for all of us. But Rush 2112, yeah, that title track, absolutely hearing this as a teenager just blew my mind, and I haven't been the same since. Probably why I have a YouTube channel talking about this music, and I've learned how to play it all on the drums as well. Rush 2112. And something else that I've been learning to play on the drums is most songs by this band. Well, not most, but many, because this band has some really tricky stuff, including this title track, which is one of my all-time favorites, Dream Theater and Octavarium. Just, wow. Mike Portnoy, the whole band on this is just absolutely insane. It starts off with this really Pink Floyd-esque keyboard guitar type intro, and then it just morphs into this absolute bout of insanity, and where they reference every actor, every movie, every song, every band that they like in the lyrics. They managed to do that within a 2-minute time frame. It's really cool, and the rhythms and the complexities of this is just, wow, mind-blowing. You hear that and you're never the same after. It is possibly the ultimate Dream Theater track. And actually, this is a band that has a couple of title tracks too. I could have mentioned a few, but this is the one. This is absolutely the one. Dream Theater, Octavarium. Can't really get much better than that, unless, of course, you were to talk about this. Oh, that's right, Jeff Shilka. I'm looking at you. I know you're watching. Yes, Close to the Edge. This is not a ranking, but this would have to be number one. With that closely behind. Just wow. I mean, good God, just Close to the Edge. I can't even begin to put into words how much I love this piece of music. This is the ultimate Yes song. And it opens up the album, and so it's like, how is side 2 going to follow that? And well, it does, because side 2 has 2 amazing 10-minute epics as well. So the 3 songs total about 38 minutes in total. Close to the Edge, just wow. That John Anderson's vocals in this, you come on. Bill Bruford and Chris Squire, the rhythm section in here. Steve Howe absolutely ripping. Rick Wakeman just being the absolute, laying down the greatest organ solo ever recorded to tape in this track. You could make the argument that other people have done, sort of the same as well, right? Keith Emerson did amazing solos. John Lord is amazing. But something about the solo at the 14 minutes and around 30-second mark in Close to the Edge, it's just wow. You can't beat it. You can't beat it. So yeah, that's it. That's it. You got Genesis, The Lamb, Frank Zappa, Hot Rats, Grateful Dead, Terrapin Station, Jethro Tull, Songs from the Wood, Opeth, Blackwater Park, Emerson, Lake and Palmer, Tarkus, King Crimson, In the Court of the Crimson King, Rush 2112, Dream Theater, Octavarium, and yes, Close to the Edge. Now, there was a few that I did have to leave off. So maybe I will have to do a part 2 to this sometime. You guys let me know in the comments what you guys want to see. But those are the top 10 title tracks in Prog. Yeah, there's a couple that I know could be on here, but this 10 had to kind of be the way it is. Honorable mention to Gentle Giant's Freehand. Honorable mention to Tool's Lateralis. Just some great stuff. And if I do a part 2, those songs will absolutely reappear. So, like and subscribe. Comment your favorite title tracks in all of prog rock or prog metal, whatever you want to do. And we'll see you next time right here on Brockway's Vinyl Bites. Rock on!